Hello everyone, this is Ricey and this is Quest Canada. If you are an international student or an immigrant who is about to move to New Brunswick and wonder how is it like or what is the process to buy a car here in the province, you are at luck because today this is exactly what the topic is all about. Before moving forth with the actual process of buying a car, first and foremost, if you do have a foreign license or a foreign driver's license, you are allowed to drive here without a local license using your foreign license for a maximum of 3 months. Now, with regards to taking on a local license or a Canadian driver's license, first thing is that you will have to surrender your existing foreign license to Service New Brunswick. So you have to go to Service New Brunswick to schedule your written exam. And when you pass your written exam, then you can have your road test. Upon doing these 2 exams, you will have to surrender your existing foreign license. When it comes to the actual cost of these exams, I certainly urge you guys to visit snb.ca, and this is the link to it. And you will find all the most up-to-date information about cost on driver's license. Here in the province or really across Canada, you can buy either from a dealer or from a private individual. When it comes to buying first with a private individual, you can go to Marketplace on Facebook and Kijiji and have the private conversations with them. Now, one thing I must caution you though is that there are scammers anywhere and everywhere in the world, and New Brunswick is certainly not an exemption. There are private individuals who will lure you and scam you and sell you junk cars. Junk cars are essentially cars that cannot be driven on the road because the car is rotting from the inside. You might see it as a car that looks nice from the outside. The paint is new, the car seats looks good, but then if you look underneath the car, the entire body of the car is rotting and falling apart. This is a junk car, and therefore, if you shall buy a car from a private individual, you certainly have got to do your due diligence. And what are this due diligence? You have to take the car to a certified and licensed mechanic, take it to a garage, have them inspect it. If they say it's a yes go, then you move on with the next steps. If they say it's a no-go, then do not buy the car just because it is cheap. You have to listen to the licensed people and to the people who know exactly what is going on with the car. Second one is that you always have to check the inspection sticker of the car and make sure that these inspection stickers are legitimate, because some people will take inspection stickers from other cars or will fake inspection stickers. And how do you know if an inspection sticker is legitimate? You have to ask for a yellow copy of the inspection sheet. If the owner refuses to give you the inspection sheet, the yellow copy, then that is a huge red flag. You have to certainly run away as fast as possible and save yourself from all the troubles of buying such a car, because the probability of it being a junk car can be high. Now we move on with the second option of buying a car here in New Brunswick or in the Atlantic really. So the second one is that you can buy from a dealership or a company, a certified company, and there are various companies here where you can buy used cars as well. Now, buying from a dealership is somewhat safer really than buying from a private individual, because really at the end of the day, the private individual, you do not know where that person lives or you do not know how to hunt that person shall the car that you buy from him or her is a junk. Whereas with dealership, they do have certain standards and regulations that they have or they follow before they sell a car to anyone. But there's a caveat, and always there is a caveat. You have to be careful as well. You always have to ask for the vehicle history report. Now, the vehicle history report provides you a snapshot of how was the history or how had the car been in the last so many years, from the time it was manufactured until such time that you were looking at it. The vehicle history report can be provided to you by the dealer, that's one, or you can go on the internet and look for it yourself. You just have to have the VIN or the VIN code of the car, and voila, you can certainly have this report. There are various free websites that can provide you this kind of report as well, and you do not have to spend money on it. Now, there are instances when a dealer will not provide you the full history of a car or disclose the full history of a car. Sometimes they will not disclose that there had been a collision on the car, and sometimes this will not be included in the vehicle history report, because sometimes they will pay for it privately instead of going to an insurance to pay for such collisions. And these are undisclosed information. You always have to ask the dealer about such information if there are undisclosed history, recall, collision with the car before you go on and bid or pay for this car. You always have to consider the fuel consumption of the car. The bigger your car is, the more fuel the vehicle will consume, and the more fuel the vehicle will consume, the more money you have to spend on it. The more money you have to spend on fuel, the more money you have to spend in insurance, and of course the maintenance will be higher. There are various things you always have to consider. If you are just a family of 3 or 4, an SUV will suffice. You do not have to have a huge car here. Some people will ask, well, you do have terrible winters here in Atlantic, and therefore are SUVs or 4x4s or pickups, are they necessary in order to live during those winter season? And the answer is truly no. I have lived here for 5 years now. The car that I bought when I landed here is the same car that I drive right this very moment. It's a sedan. It's a Mazda sedan, and I'm doing pretty well. Do you rather lease a car or own a car? Now, leasing, personally to me, is just a waste of money, unless of course you will buy the car at the end of your contract. Normally it will be between 3 and 5 years. Otherwise, leasing is certainly comparable to renting a house. You just throw your money out the window. It doesn't make sense. Now, owning your own car essentially gives you equity to the car. You own the car, and therefore the moment you want to change your car or upgrade or downgrade, then you have equity. For me, leasing is a no. Owning a car is a yes. If you want to lease a car, then you have to have a long-term plan that yes, you will buy the car by the end of your contract. That is the only sensible scenario for me, for someone to ever lease a car. Next question is brand new or used car, and I have mentioned my preference earlier in this video. It is always a used car, but having said that, it has to be a used car that is sensible. It must not be a used car that is not reliable, or a used car that is that have ran 200,000 miles already. That's quite a big problem. It's gonna give you some problems in the next few months already. 200,000 is a lot. Now, a mileage of 60,000 kilometers is acceptable to me, at least it is. Less than 100,000, probably up to 80,000 kilometers, but certainly not more than 80,000 kilometers of mileage. That will certainly make sense. And always, to me, always a used car. And so you might be wondering, if you cannot pay for the car in cash, what about car loans? And there are various ways to have a car loan here in Canada. First one would be with your bank. If you do have a banking relationship with any bank here in Canada, you certainly can approach them and ask them about such questions on interest and car loan. Now, doing your loan directly with the bank can be expensive. Car loan company and these agents or the agents for this car loan companies can provide you better rates. And the third option is that the dealer themselves would have the path or the system wherein they themselves will provide you the car loan. So there are various ways to go around with car loans. Now, if you are an international student or you are a new immigrant here in the country, it can be difficult to have a car loan approved, because car loan pretty much the same as any other loans here in Canada. It is purely and mainly based on credit history. And so if you have just landed in the country, obviously you will not have credit history, and having no credit history, it certainly is difficult to have a car loan or any loan really approved. And this is another reason that a used car, because it is potentially cheaper, a used car would make more sense. Next question is, what about down payments? Is it necessary? Do you have to have money to pay as down payment if you want to buy a car? And the answer to this is it's a yes and a no. It truly depends where you will take your car loan. If you will buy a brand new car, or you will buy it from a bank or take the loan from a bank, normally banks will require down payments. But if you will buy or take the loan from a vehicle financing company, normally they will not require down payment, but the interest rate will be higher. To me personally, I would suggest, and I do prefer to put as much down payment as possible. Which one suits you best financially? This is a decision for you to make, and always do your research before you say yes to a certain interest rate or a certain offer on car loan, because there are many companies who can offer you good rates. And the last topic, or the last part of this video, is insurance, because you have decided on which car, where to buy car loan, and therefore you have to think about insurance. And car insurance, you just have to go online. There are many agents or insurance companies that can offer you good rates as well. The key really is to search on the internet. Here in New Brunswick, if you buy from a dealer, the dealer normally takes care of the registration, and they just charge you of the costs that is associated with registering your car. But if you will buy it from a private individual, then the two of you will have to take care of the registration. And once you have got your car registered under your name, you just have to think about renewing your vehicle registration on a yearly basis. Normally, Service New Brunswick will send you a letter on a yearly basis to notice you or to provide you information on when and how you can renew your registration. And once you have got your car under your name and you have got your driver's license, do not go gallivanting, driving 200 kilometers an hour on the freeway. Make sure to respect the road rules and make sure to respect pedestrians.